this podcast replay, it's brought to you by Moodius Dental. Come and get a free consultation from the implant and Invisalign experts like I did and start the year right with a healthy smile. Call 305-821-0231 or visit MoodiusDental.com.
We are now going to turn our attention to a little gambling. We love to do a little gambling here on the show. And, of course, it's our Hialeah Park sports investment segment. Brian Edwards, we like to go around the country, talk to different handicappers, folks that can give us great opinions, great insight on the different games that we've got coming up. Brian, of course, you can go to his website, brianedwardsports.com, majorwager.com, and, of course, the Games Galore podcast is out there for you. Brian, good afternoon, my man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Big O. Thanks so much for having me.
It is great to have you on, my brother. Good to talk a little sports here. First of all, let's get into some of the playoff games we got going on this weekend. A little Vikings and Niners. Right now, I've got the Niners -7. The over and under is 44.5. What are you thinking about this one? Can Kirk Cousins and the boys shock the world here?
Yeah, they can. Now it's a big red flag that they played Sunday in New Orleans, and now they've got to fly 2,000 miles west, and they play Saturday, making it a short week. So that is a bit of a concern. Nevertheless, I am going to play Minnesota plus the 7. Kirk Cousins was very impressive last week, completely outplayed Drew Brees threw a perfect deep ball to Thielen on the game-winning drive in OT, and then the perfect pass to Rudolph. I thought Dalvin Cook looked 100% healthy. There were concerns about his health going into the playoffs, but I thought he looked great. And Mike Zimmer, a masterful defensive plan. Now, the travel and the short week concerns me a little, so I will, for money management purposes, point out that I'm not on Minnesota as strong amount-wise as I am on these other two I'm going to tell you about, but I will be on Minnesota plus the 7.
Okay, all right. So it's a slight lean is what you're saying to Minnesota. Is that the way you would describe it?
That'd be fair.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, that would be fair.
All right, the other Saturday game, will Ryan Tannehill actually keep this roll going for the Titans? Can Henry punish the Ravens? The Ravens are favored by 9, brother, so the wise guys are comfortable here, and the over and under right now I have is 46.5. What do you think about this one, Brian?
I like the Titans here. Now, I'm not saying I like them to win outright. I like them plus the point. I was able to get it at plus 10. If your number is plus 9.5, I always recommend buying the half point to a key number, which is obviously 10, like 3, 7, 14, etc. I like the Titans because Tannehill is hot, 8-3 in his 11 starts. In his last 8 starts, he has a 16-2 touchdown to interception ratio. And bully ball is what they played last week with Derrick Henry, a workman-like 34 carries for 182 rushing yards, led the NFL in rushing yards during the regular season, and they have excellent defense, and defense travels. A.J. Brown, the rookie out of Ole Miss, had a big December, but he was real quiet in Foxborough last week, but it looked for him to get more involved this week. Now, this is nothing anti-Baltimore. Obviously, they're hot, 12-game winning streak, 9-1 against the spread, their last 10, but Mark Ingram might not be healthy, and I think that's a pretty big deal, and we're catching a big number, so I like the Titans.
All right, Titans plus 10 for Brian Edwards. You can go to his website, by the way, brianedwards.com and majorwager.com. You can also check that out. All right, we move over to the Sunday games, Brian. The Chiefs right now, I got them 9.5. The over and under is 51. What do you think about that game?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the underdog again, and like I said on the Titans, if your number is 9.5, I stress buying that half point to the key number of 10. Houston already went to Arrowhead back on October 13th, and they won outright. The Chiefs have lost outright at home 3 times this year. The Texans on the road are 4-3 straight up, 4-2-1 against the spread. They only played 7 road games because they went to London to play the Jags. And if we look at their underdog situations for the Texans, if we discount the regular season finale, and we should because Deshaun Watson didn't play and a number of key players didn't play when they were a 10-point home dog and didn't cover. If we discount that, the Texans have been an underdog of 3 or more 6 times this year, and they're 5-1 against the spread with 4 outright wins. Watson was terrific last week, 20 of 25, 247 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, 55 rushing yards and 1 touchdown. I think KC wins, but I think Houston covers.
I'm with you. I like the Texans plus the number, and it's all really Watson, man. That kid is money. That kid is clutch. He finds a way to stay in games. He finds a way to win games. You can't teach that at all. So I'm with you. I like the Texans plus 9.5. Big time with that one. All right, the afternoon game on Sunday at 6:40 on Fox. It is the Seahawks visiting the Packers. Green Bay is favored by 4. Over and under is 47. How are you looking at that one there, Brian?
I'm looking for a big line move or some personnel injury situation to change my mind on it. But right now, I just think it's a great number. I made it for myself. I slightly lean Green Bay to win based on the home field advantage. But I will point out how great Seattle has been on the road. Now, as an astute tweeter, let me know yesterday after I tweeted that Seattle, when they played in the Eastern time zone this year, they're 6-0 straight up, 4-1-1 against the spread. But Green Bay is in the Central time zone, not the Eastern. So consider that factoid how you want. I just, I slightly lean Green Bay to win a close game, but I don't want to lay more than 3. And right now, Big O, man, I'm just on the sidelines for this one. Maybe I'll look for an in-game opportunity or a halftime line that attracts me. But right now, I'm on the sidelines for it.
Okay. All right. So, Brian, a lot of times we want to look for props in these games. Give me 1 or 2 props that you really love in these games.
All right, I'm going to give you 2 on over-under rushing yards, both in the Titans-Ravens game. I like Derrick Henry to go over 94.5 rushing yards. Baltimore does have the number 5 run defense in the NFL, but I think that's a little misleading. Think about this 12-game winning streak they're on. They've had big leads where a lot of opponents have abandoned the run, so I think that makes their run defense look a little better. But it's just, look, the last 7 games for Derrick Henry, here are his rushing yards. 152, 211, 86, which would be the only under of this number that's 94.5 rushing yards. 103, 149, 159, 188. He got 34 carries last week. I think over 94.5 Derrick Henry's rushing yards. And then I also like Lamar Jackson's over 77.5 rushing yards. In 5 of Baltimore's last 6 games that he played in, he skipped the regular season finale. 5 of 6, he's had 79 rushing yards or more. He had averages 6.9 yards per carry, rushed for 1,206 yards. And the fact that Mark Ingram is dealing with that calf injury might, create where they're passing the ball more or when they're running, Jackson runs more. I just think it creates a situation where we'll probably see Lamar running more often than he would normally if it was 100% Mark Ingram.
I'm with you on the. I love the Derrick Henry over. Why? I will add a caveat to what you were saying. They're not going to depend on Ryan Tannehill. They have not done that all year. All he does is he's made a couple of complimentary passes in each of the games, but they're going to ride Henry 99% of the time. And I don't expect Ryan Tannehill to be the guy that beats the Ravens. If somehow the Titans beat them, it's because Derrick Henry had a good game. And if he had a good game, he got over that 95-yard mark. So I'm with you. They're going to feed the monster because that's the only way they really can win this game is by feeding that monster.
Yeah,
I don't believe Ryan can beat him.
Yeah, my only fear on the Henry prop bet is that Baltimore, but I don't, it's my only fear, but I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, obviously I told you, I think the Titans are going to cover, so I don't think this happens, but if Baltimore were to just jump out to a huge lead and Tennessee has to abandon the running game early. But I don't expect that to happen. And if it's a close game, I know Henry, barring getting an injury, he's going to get enough touches, to get this. So that's why I like it.
I'm with you there. All right, one more thing before I let you go, Brian. The national championship game, we're right around the corner. Right now, LSU is favored by 6. The over and under is 70, my friend. What do you think about that one?
Well, I got a better line early. Actually, before the semifinals, they had lines for all different potential matchups in the finals. I actually got LSU at Pick'em, but I still recommend it at -6. I love Clemson. It's nothing anti-Clemson. Obviously, they haven't lost in years. Trevor Lawrence hadn't lost since high school. So it's obviously not an anti-Clemson play. It's just a pro-Joe Burrow play. I just don't think anybody can stop this LSU offense. And Lawrence is going to get his yards. Hell, Clemson might score 40, but LSU is going to score more. They'll outscore them. And I think they win by 2 touchdowns.
Wow. All right. There you go. Follow Brian, by the way, on his website at majorwager.com. Also, BrianEdwardsSports.com. And check out the podcast, The Games Galore. What do you got going on that podcast, my brother?
Oh, we're always talking football, basketball, and some UFC. And we always keep it with the gambling angle and try to have fun with it.
There you go. Brian, good stuff, my brother. Thank you for taking some time. We really look forward to doing it again, my friend.
Big O, thanks so much for having me, and have a great weekend. Enjoy the game.
You got it, baby. Be good. There you go. Brian Edwards on our Hialeah Park Sports Investment segment.